Tuesday. All right, another episode of my podcast covered in dead. Thank you, Mark, Karen, for being with me today.
My pleasure.
So nice to get to see your face on this Zoom. It's kind of funny how you can just connect with people. I think this was all for me. It came out of COVID. Been able to connect with folks.
Oh yeah.
Really amped up the convenience of things of having this format to do so, and we're bridging the gap between East Coast and West Coast, so that's kind of nice.
I, I do love that part of it. I gotta say that I'm yeah, I'm an older gentleman and I'm getting a little burnt out on how much tech is taking over my
Oh,
life.
I get it.
You
It's
know?
frustrating. It's helpful,
Oh yeah.
but it's
Yep.
frustrating, and you got to learn. You got to be up on the how to do this and how to get attention to the. I don't know what you do yourself and what you have people do for you, but
Oh no, I don't have any
so
people.
you do
I
it.
do I do
So
everything.
you know the importance of getting a good clip or a good reel or getting drawing folks to your Facebook page,
Well, I
whatever
I
platform.
do I do, but I got to be honest. I'm of another generation and another time,
Yeah.
and I grew up in a world where we, as people in the band and the people that were playing the music,
Right.
we didn't promote. That was
Right.
up to the venues and the clubs to promote the shows at their venue,
Yeah.
you know. And as band people, what we did was write the songs, rehearse, show up,
Right.
deliver the music,
Right.
and that was plenty to keep us very, very, very
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
And now all of a
It
sudden
is.
it's, oh wait, no, no, you're also the promoter, you're also the publicity person,
Yeah.
you're
Right.
also it's like,
The
oh my
job
God.
list is long. I know it's and you have to either resign yourself to not doing it or do it, and then I call Facebook sometimes the black hole because it you go in. I might just be going to do something for one band and I'm on the other band's page. Then I see notifications about my page and I'm like, wait, what
Yep,
did I come here for? I don't even
yep,
remember.
yep. It's pretty crazy. But
But at the
it
same
is what it
time,
is,
I
right?
get to see Mark Karen's buds playing here, there, and everywhere. I like, I follow the people I want to see what's going on, even though I 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to make it to one of your shows because you're
Yeah,
on the
sure.
West Coast. But you're still making your way through here, and which I like to see. You're out there and about there. But so tell me, when was it that you first got into the dead? Like, how old were you? Where were you growing up? What were you
Well, I
doing?
was definitely about 11. I was in San Francisco,
Oh,
hanging
okay.
out in the Haight. It was 1966.
Oh,
Um,
oh wow, that is
you know,
awesome.
so I was going to Golden Gate Park with all my little friends, and we were starting to smoke pot, and so we would smoke a little pot in the old wheat straw papers, and we would walk into Golden Gate Park with no real plan, and we would just start walking into the park and listening, and eventually we'd hear bass, and we'd follow bass.
Whoa.
And pretty much every weekend, you'd find some band playing in some field on a flatbed truck in Golden Gate Park.
Wow.
And it was anything from the Grateful Dead and the Jefferson Airplane and Quicksilver to all these cool, funky little psychedelic bands that nobody's ever heard of, you know.
So you
So
got turned on from the live music in the park? Is that where you first heard the Grateful Dead?
I think to be honest with you, I'm 71 years old, so that was 60 years ago, and
Right.
I would be remiss to say that my memory is not fallible. Uh, what I can say is that's the time period,
Right. Right.
but I have no idea what the actual
Yeah.
first show or
Oh, right.
first
Oh, okay.
introduction,
Well,
you know.
because you were immersed in it in your hood right there at the hate and walking to the
Well,
park with your friends at 11. Oh, wow, that's so cool, Mark.
Well, and the thing is that there was no such thing back then. There was no such thing as a deadhead. That
Right.
didn't
Sure.
exist.
Right.
You
That's
know,
right.
we were
Right.
just fans of the
Fans
music, and
of
that
the
was lots
music.
of bands.
Right. The whole San
And
Francisco scene.
yeah, and so
Wow.
I loved the Grateful Dead, of course,
Uh-huh.
and several of the other bands. My favorite bands from that era actually were Quicksilver Messenger Service and the Sons of Champlin. I
Oh,
loved the Dead, but those
yeah.
two were my real favorites.
Right. Wow. Nice.
And but I was at the show that's when you open up Live Dead, there's the flatbed truck on Haight Street thing. I was there. My friends are in the photo that's shot from behind them.
Oh,
We were up on the we were up on the roof of the Straight Theater watching down on Haight Street.
wow. What a
Um,
bird's eye view to that, huh?
yeah, I mean it was, it's pretty special. I got to see a lot of cool stuff,
That's
One of my
great.
earliest shows was The Dead at the Fillmore. It was actually on my birthday, so I probably would have been turning 12 or maybe 13. I don't really remember the year.
Wow.
And Bill Graham used to do this amazing, amazing, wonderful thing. And I owe him so much in terms of my musical development because he would take the shows, he always had eclectic bills. Like he'd have the Grateful Dead,
Yeah.
but it would be Junior Wells and the Chicago Blues Band in the middle slot, or Howlin' Wolf,
Yeah.
or,
Right.
Albert King.
Wow.
And so
Nice.
I was going to see the Dead or the Airplane, but I was getting to see all these amazing blues artists and getting hipped
Yeah.
to this really broad swath of music.
Right.
And for the first couple years that I was going, he used to take the Friday and Saturday night shows and put them on again on Sunday from 2 in the afternoon till 6 in the evening. And if you were 12 or younger, you got in free.
Oh, wow.
So I went to so many
Oh
amazing
my
shows
God.
for
Way to go,
free.
Bill. That's great. Wow. So you'd catch the Sunday matinee.
Oh yeah, my parents would drop me off at the Fillmore. I'd go in. I'd get my free poster as I was leaving and my apple. You know.
Oh man. That's fantastic. That's what they did. They gave an apple and a free poster.
Yep, you got the apple when you walked in. There was a tub full of apples, and that was back in the days when you could trust
You
that
could
and eat
trust
that
them.
apple.
Right, right.
And then when you were leaving, you got a free poster of that night's show. And they also had a thing where, and I signed up for it. I got them for many, many, many years. They had a thing where you could sign up for a mailing list thing,
Right.
and you got little mini flyer versions of those posters in the mail every week.
Wow. So it told you what was coming up.
Well, I told you what was coming up, but it was also, little miniatures of that fantastic
Yeah.
art.
Right. You still have any of those?
I don't have a lot. I've got a couple. Actually, there's a funny little story there too. I got contacted by a head that had become a fan of mine through the other ones and Rat Dog and all that.
Right.
And I was a little suspicious when he first reached out. I don't know you.
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Does the address P.O. Box 146, Montera, California mean anything to you?" I went, "Whoa, this is getting weird. This is
How do
getting
you know?
creepy. How do you know my childhood address, you
Right.
know?"
Oh yeah, right.
And he's like, "Oh, well, I was visiting San Francisco and I went to Amoeba Music or Amoeba Records on Haight Street and I was rifling through their
Records.
collection of old posters and
Oh,
things,
oh.
and I pulled out this little handbill from the old days, and I turned it over, and on the back it said Mark Karen
Oh,
and this address."
that's hysterical.
I was like, "What
Wow.
the fuck? That's
Somehow it
fabulous."
made it way to a shop. That's great. Yeah, I guess that's what it was all about. That's how the word got out way before all these social media
Yeah,
platforms.
and I miss that.
I Yeah, I really love that. I have, like you said, nice mailings from bands I love that were like, they sat there. I know I did it with the Deadbeats in the 90s, put the stamp on the envelope, do the whole little writing out, cutting out, whatever. Really kind of a way to connect with everybody. But of course,
yeah,
as your fan base grows, that becomes a lot harder.
yes,
Right. Right.
yes.
Yeah. I
Well,
get
it's like back in the day when they used to have the two ticket office, and it was Frankie and Calico, and people would write in to get their tickets,
Yeah.
and everybody would make this fucking amazing art
Yeah.
to
The-
get noticed by Frankie and Calico,
yeah.
so
So
they'd get,
I don't know about Frankie and Calico. So they the ones who fielded the mail order envelopes?
yeah, yeah, they're the ones that
Oh,
received all that artwork, and they were the ones that kind of went, okay, you get a ticket, you don't, you get a ticket, you don't.
yeah. Wow. On the envelope. I remember decorating my envelopes. I got on the bus in 89. It was late, but I still did mail order. And I
Nice.
would have, so much fun decorating the envelopes. That was a real treat, I would have to say. And I think that's some cool memorabilia. Even to this day, I've seen some of these envelopes from way back
Oh, they're
when.
amazing.
They're
Yeah, some of the people
amazing.
did just really,
But
really outrageous
yeah,
artwork.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's the talented community we're a part of.
Yes,
Creativity, off the chain there. Yeah. So tell me, who are you playing with these days? What bands are you playing with?
Well, I have Mark Karen's Buds, which,
Yes.
the reality is we're probably not going to get out of the Bay Area.
Right. It's a regional
There's just
band.
nothing to support that.
Gotcha.
But we get to play out here, and the predominant lineup is with myself and Scott Guberman and Anna Elva,
Love.
and JP McLean. So
Oh,
they're very dead oriented musicians,
love
but
that.
we're doing a little bit of dead, but it's really an opportunity for me to visit more of my Americana roots, to have a place to put my original music,
Sure.
and so we
Right.
mix dead into the mix,
Nice.
but it's not a dead cover band,
Right. Right.
you know.
Mark
And
Karen.
then I tour very regularly, actually. I'm gone more than I would really prefer to be, if I'm honest, uh, with a band called Live Dead and Brothers,
Yes. Right.
which is Grateful Dead mashed up with Allman Brothers.
Love that. Love
And
that.
another band called the Gilmore Project, which is basically Gilmore era Pink Floyd and a little bit of solo Gilmore.
Right. That's right. You do that. So you're the David Gilmour in that.
Well, no, actually, I'm not. There's two guitar
Oh,
players, and in both of these bands, I kind of got hired in a really interesting capacity
okay.
because the Floyd thing, especially, we didn't want to be yet another tribute band.
Right.
Enough with that shit, you
Right.
know. Uh,
Right. Right.
but I mean, the guy who put it together is not stupid, and he
Yeah.
knows what side of the bread our butter or what side our bread is buttered on,
Yeah.
and on
Right.
some level, it's a tribute thing.
Yeah.
So what we do is he advertises us as interpretive tribute bands.
Okay.
So we don't have to slavishly recreate
Right.
exactly the record.
Right.
We
Gotcha.
do the songs with the important hooky parts,
Right.
and all bets are off on the rest.
Nice.
So I got hired in both of those bands to kind of Jeff Pevar is the other guitar player in the Gilmore Project.
Oh,
Great guitar player with a super track record and all that,
yeah.
and he's really great at copying
Right.
the other thing.
Yep.
So he kind of got tagged as, "Hi, you're the Gilmore guy.
Got it.
You get to learn all those iconic solos.
Right.
You get to craft all those sounds to sound just like David."
Right. Right. Right.
And
Right.
he's done an amazing job with all of
Oh,
that.
that's nice. Yeah, because that's not easy. I know.
No,
Yeah.
it's a rough. It's not a gig I'd want,
Yeah.
frankly.
Right.
And I got called in to be the weirdo. I got called in. I mean, we're going to do these Floyd songs, but we want you to do whatever it is you think would sound good.
Right.
And I'm like,
Nice.
I can do
Wow.
that. Thank
That's
you.
that. That's the interpretive part. I love that.
Yes,
That's
yes.
smart because there are a lot of covers out there. In even in the dead world, so many more. Even in this moment, I'm sure there's another one forming, and
Oh
I
God,
love.
there's probably 20 active Grateful Dead cover bands in Marin County alone.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I know it's like that in the Albany area, New York, all the way down the whole East Coast. You can go, but isn't that nice? Because if you want to find your family when you're on the road, you can.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
beauty part about that. And I love seeing that you roll through with Live Dead and Brothers. I've seen you at Lark Hall, which is my home. That's one of my favorite places. I know the owners very well. And you did the Bearsville, which is also a great place, which is
Yep.
just
Yeah, we
around the
just did
corner
that.
from where I am now. I live in Woodstock. But yeah, I know you've done those, and I'm like, when are you gonna go when I'm not? When are you gonna come through when I'm not doing my thing that night?
You're a musician. I miss so many of my friends'
I know.
shows and even the not my friends' shows when it's just somebody I'd really love to go see in concert. Oh, well, I'm working.
Right. And I do love playing music, so I'm fortunate to have that kind of
Oh yeah,
lifestyle.
sure, of course.
And then a night off, it lines up. I get to come out and see my friends, every once in a while. I like that. And having the ability to like learn from my friends, I enjoy that so much because I'm constantly inspired by seeing the people that we know and having, this reinforcement of some songs that I know, or just seeing someone interpret something so beautifully, like that might be different, way different than something I've done.
Yeah,
That's the
sure.
beauty of this dead world we're in for sure. I remember the first time I met you, which by the way, I didn't, I'd heard about you. I'd seen you. I believe you played with Rat Dog when I was and other ones you played with when I saw
Played with
both.
other ones in '98 and 2000,
Yeah, saw them. I saw those.
and then started playing with Rat Dog in '98, and did every single Rat Dog show there was until the band went away,
Yeah.
uh, except for about 6 months where I was out of the game with cancer, and Steve Kimmock filled in for me.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad you've come through that.
You and me both.
Yeah, very glad about that, Mark. Um, but yeah, I remember seeing you, but I'd only known of you until I was then we were on the same bill and we were going to play with Cubensis on that New Year's Eve
The New
show.
Year's thing, yeah, yeah.
And you pop open your, we're kind of like in the back area. You pop open your, I think your guitar case, and there's a little grinder. And I was like, oh, I love this man already. I was like, you smoke weed? And then he's like, you're like, do I? And I remember looking at you like, this is just, when you can find a common moment in a matter of seconds, other than the dead, whatever, just something that makes me chuckle like, oh, he came with his own grinder. I didn't bring my own grinder. Now I have a travel grinder, thanks to your inspiration, by the way. Because, you want one when you're on the road. But I knew already that, there was we had things in common that just made me feel like I could talk to you and connect with you. And I was really glad to play with you. And again, to watch you craft your solos, like you're coming from Mark's approach, which I really, really enjoy. And having the chops and the skills like you do, that's a good thing to just witness. And now I'm on the kit watching you do it, like, on the stage with you. So that's
Right, right.
really nice, Mark. I'd have to say that's when you can recognize the joy of like, I'm getting to play with this man, that was a good moment in time for me. I
Right
felt
on,
very,
right on.
yeah, because I can appreciate you as a musician, but also your Markness, you know just being who you are and speaking, and you nail what you need to nail, right? You bring the part in that you need to play, but you also have your own flavor. And that's something in this world I think that we tend to stand out a little bit more or shine our own light, on things.
Well, yeah, I'm with you. And the interesting thing about my whole connection to this world, we were talking in the beginning about the fact that I got introduced at a super young age,
Right.
but because I got introduced at a super young age, I'm guessing 66, maybe early 67, I'm not sure. Uh, because of that, I'd been listening to the Dead for like 10 years by 1976.
What?
And I was like, okay, well, this is all great, and I'm turning into a professional musician. This is going to be what I'm going to be doing
Right.
for the rest of my. What else is out there?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I didn't really listen to the Dead after 1976. I did not. I missed all the late 70s, all of the 80s,
Oh,
all of the 90s. I didn't.
okay.
I heard none of
Really?
it. I saw none of it. I
Really?
had nothing.
Well, it
All
was
I
just
had
in
were
the
old
old.
records.
Right. Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Right.
these are my favorite. These are some of my favorite old records
Oh,
that I
right.
check in with once in a blue moon as a wonderful, joyful, nostalgic thing. And
Exactly.
so to suddenly get the call at like I think I was 44 years old or something.
Wow.
Hi, this is Grateful Dead management. Would you be interested in coming up here to Marin County and playing with Bobby and Mickey and Phil and
Hello. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so
And
great.
I've always sucked at auditions. I've screwed the pooch at almost every single audition I've ever done. I just
Right.
get too nervous, and I'm too vested in pleasing them and not in being myself.
Sure. I understand that.
And in this instance, I absolutely knew I was not going to get the gig.
Really?
Yeah, I just had no hope whatsoever of actually getting the gig. So I went up there with my favorite guitar and my favorite little stomp box, and I asked them to rent me a vintage Super Reverb to play through.
Okay.
And I went up there with the full mindset of I get to meet those guys that I used to love so much and actually play music with them for an afternoon.
Right.
How cool. And then I'll come home and life will be regular again.
Right. Right. Right.
You
Right.
know.
Right.
And I think because I absolutely had no pressure, didn't think
Right.
I'd get the gig,
Right.
just did my thing and had fun, I think they liked that.
Yeah.
and that's how
Yeah.
I got the gig. And
Nice.
back then, Phil's thing was, we would like you to play as though you've never heard Jerry Garcia.
Oh.
We want to see where this music is going next, not
Oh.
not look backwards and try to redo what we've already been doing.
Right.
What's next moving
Right.
forward?
Right.
And so I had a lot of permission.
Wow.
Both Steve and Steve Kimmock and I were both on that gig,
Yes.
and it was interesting because two lead guitar players and very little direction, very little guidance about who should play what, where, when.
Really?
Oh yeah, like none. Uh,
Wow.
I
Okay.
remember being on. I don't remember what show. They all kind of run together, but I remember being on stage, and Steve and I were next to each other, and we were next to Phil. And some song came, and the obvious moment for a solo to happen
Right.
happened.
Right.
And Steve and I are looking at each other going, I don't know, are you going to go?
Do
I don't know,
you?
are you going to go? I don't know. And Phil turns around and was just like, somebody fucking play something.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Really? Oh, man.
And we were just like, oh,
And
whoa,
then,
whoa, okay, okay.
and then somebody did. Oh, man. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess learning on your feet to some degree in that world, right? Now, you're saying you didn't listen or you didn't really know what they were doing prior to, so that's kind of like up to Jerry's death, 95
Well,
or so,
it's
98 or 90. Well, I
yeah,
mean,
I
he
mean,
died
from
in 95.
76 until Jerry died, I had
Right, right.
no consciousness
So
at
that's
all.
nearly 20 years of not knowing, and then now you're in the band with the guys. That's kind of funny to be.
It was kind of ridiculous. I mean, being I forget if it was the audition or the first rehearsal. I think it might have been the audition.
Wow, that's great.
And they were like, okay, well, we're going to play Friend of the Devil. And so I know that. Yeah, let's play that. Okay. And now we're going to play Sugar Mags. Okay, yeah, I know that. I'm going to play that. Okay,
Okay.
great. Now we're going to play Shakedown Street. What's that?
Oh yeah, because it's
How's that
after
go?
70. Wow, nice. Wow. I bet they were surprised to hear you wouldn't have known that, right?
Oh, very. They just assumed.
Wow. Well, obviously you did your homework because that was one of the songs that you played. I would imagine many times. But
Oh yeah.
wow, that's incredible. And it's just to shows the talent that you have and your ability to connect and do what makes you happy. I think that's probably what they were, most happy with themselves, right?
I think that's the gestation of that whole band. I mean, not to try to paint some silly Pollyanna picture that everything was rosy and golden all the time behind the scenes in that thing, but
Right, right.
but I think they all came together for the sake of creativity,
Yeah,
exploration,
yeah,
and some version of personal joy.
yeah, right.
You know?
And yeah, that's what comes across. I mean, I feel like I just constantly want to be present to that. I'm recognizing sometimes, my overactive brain in life will get in the way, and I'll have to be like, okay, quiet down now. Thanks for sharing. I got
Yeah.
something to do here. Okay,
Shushy.
shushy, shushy, exactly, shushy, shushy. And I think I'm getting better at that, which allows me to focus more. But I'm truly in my joy when it comes to playing. I feel like I'm so lucky to be doing this, and I have such a community of people, especially playing in the same band since the '90s in New York. Here, there's something to say about the following and the friends and the family that we have,
Yeah. Oh
weddings,
yeah.
the parties, the christenings, and then it's the you know high school graduation, and then it's the daughter's college, and then the grandkids arrive, and then you have three generations coming out. It's just like,
Giant WTFs.
yeah, that's great. Oh, that's great. Well, I know that for me, every once in a while I fall into like a new favorite song that like I didn't realize how much I loved playing, or maybe we changed the tempo a little bit. Like Beat It On Down the Line, for example, I used to play a little bit slower. I found myself bringing it up more like the older versions that were like the beginnings of the Beat It On Down the Lines, and I'm finding this new joy with that song. Like, you ever have like a rekindling with a song that you've played so many times, then you're like, wow, I've never quite played it like this before. I kind of appreciate that kind of newness, everyone, especially in songs that you played 1,000 times already.
I think yes, but I think in my case it's not necessarily so much that sort of stumble across a renewed interest in a particular song
Right.
during a period of time.
Right.
It's more like on a night by night basis.
Oh,
Some song that I might have not normally been all that connected to might magically take off, and I'm like, oh, well, this is a pleasant surprise. You know,
yes.
in fact, this used to happen a lot with Rat Dog, where there were certain songs that would occasionally appear on the set lists. You know,
Right.
Bobby wrote all the set lists, and
Right.
there were certain songs that would occasionally surface in the sets where, if I'm honest, us boys in the band would roll our eyes and go, "Oh no, we're doing that tonight." You know, Josephine. Some of those songs were just like,
Oh,
"Really? Okay."
okay.
And what was really cool was that on several occasions that I can think of, some of it fueled by mushrooms, granted. Uh, we would have one of those songs appear on the set list and kind of be in that mode where we're kind of dreading it and wanting to get through it when we get there.
Right.
And somehow magically it just goes to Mars in the most wonderful way.
Oh, wow. That's nice. That I you talked about maybe it was mushrooms or maybe it wasn't, but maybe it was the roses or maybe it was the mushrooms. But I would say I have had moments like that, just microdosing, but where I have this attachment or awareness of a new something, and I'm just kind of like I let that flush out into playing it in a new way, and it's just still excites me. It's like still fresh and new. There's something to say about letting the moment unfold instead of having to craft it, you know?
Well, that's pot for me. If I if
Okay.
I if I play and I don't puff, which obviously I can and have a lot,
Sure, right.
but if I'm play, especially Grateful Dead music or any music that's essentially based in some version of improvisation,
Uh-huh.
if I don't get high, my intellect and my analyzer and my judge
Right.
will sit right up here in the
Yeah,
front of my brain
right.
and go, "You suck.
Yeah.
That person in the
Oh my
front row
God.
thinks you suck,
I'm not
and you're
laughing, but
playing boring licks that everybody's heard a dozen times,
right,
and just why don't you just stop?"
right, right.
And if I smoke a little pot,
Yeah.
all that shuts up,
Quiets that down.
and
Yeah.
I get very available to whatever's going to happen in the moment.
I love that. And it's exactly right. You're quieting the mind, maybe getting into the tonal or the just the way the rhythm hits. There's something that you feel a little
Yes,
differently. And it
yes.
does. I agree. I mean, I love to smoke weed before I play. Sometimes when I have to do a lot of talking, I don't smoke as much weed because I get a little tongue tied sometimes. But the trade off is that the music is it's musical. It's very I'm feeling it. Like there's
Yeah,
something
oh yeah.
nice about that. So
And I have the opposite thing with the talking part. For me, rather than becoming tongue-tied,
right.
I can get very verbose.
Oh wow. Well, yeah, I'm sure I've done that too. I can recall nights though, we'd be out, especially with the deadbeats, would be in the smoke circle where, it'd be a set break and the entire bar would empty out to the front of the building and we'd all be smoking weed. And then I go back in and would be on stage and, I'll be sitting there playing. I'm like, who's supposed to be singing? And I'm like, oh, it's me, like that's a lot of good weed, right? Like maybe not that much, I don't,
That's very funny.
I was like, oh my God, it's me. Anyway, yeah. So, all right. So I'm feeling like, each night is special when you play and you connect with, like you said, about some of the songs, Josephine or whatever, even with Rat Dog, they present differently on different nights. And
Yeah, I mean, even some of the Dead songs, like
yeah,
Victim of the Crime, some of the ones that even a lot of the Deadheads that I talked to were kind of like, you know, uh,
yeah,
I can't explain it, but I
yeah,
remember a few nights
yeah.
where we would go off into the jam parts of Victim and it'd be like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
this is fucking cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Wow, that must have been cool. I can, I can remember being at a lot of the post Jerry shows and really seeing that the joy was very much still there. And I loved I loved seeing you. I never knew who you were. And now I got to see who you are. And then your interpretations and other folks' interpretations, that's what I think made it still exciting, because you were seeing something different, you know?
Yeah, and with the
And
two bands that kind of came out of that, with the
yeah,
Phil and Friends thing and the Rat Dog thing, and there was some kind of bullshit competition aspect to all that, which we don't need to focus on.
oh yeah, right.
But I mean, it was there, whatever.
Yeah,
Uh, but what always struck me was that the two bands were both really, really cool from two very different
yeah,
directions and perspectives. Rat Dog, through the years, was the same set of players, and we became a band,
right,
and we could interpret and read each other and intuit
right,
what we were all going to do next because we'd
right.
played together so much. And yeah, and we've been on the bus together smelling each other's farts, I mean,
Yeah, right,
it's a whole thing.
right, right,
And Phil and Friends was a very different thing
right,
because pretty much every time, I mean, there was the period where it was the PLQ, but pretty much every time Phil went out, it was a different lineup of people. And
right.
so that had this very explorational, off the cuff
Yes,
aspect that was really
yes,
cool. You
right.
know,
Yeah, yeah. We have an appearance by my cat
I
Jerry.
noticed. Hello there.
He's,
Hello, Gray and Beautiful.
oh yeah, that's Jerry. Named for Jerry Garcia, of course.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I know. He's all warm because he was in the window and the sun is on that side of the
Uh,
house right now.
like the old Donovan song, Cat is sleeping in the sun.
Oh, well, there he does that all the time. Well, yeah. So tell me about some upcoming shows you have that are exciting for you.
Gosh, I can't really. I'm terrible about that. It's just like when I go to a situation where it's sit-in time.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
If
What
I
do you
don't
want to
pick my
play?
songs
Yeah,
ahead
I
of
know. I
time,
know.
somebody says play a song. I only know hundreds,
Yeah, I know.
but in that moment, I can't think of a single
I
one.
know. I
You
know.
know,
I know.
so
It's
I'm trying
funny.
to think of what the hell shows I have coming up that are exciting.
Well, I know
I
that you
got a
get to.
Jerry, I got a Jerry Day show coming up. I think it's August 2nd in
Okay.
Sebastopol. New combination of people that I've never really played with before called the Might As Well Band.
Oh, okay.
So
Who's in
we're gonna
that?
do that.
Do you know who's in that?
Uh, oh gosh, I'm so
Okay.
bad at all this.
It's all right.
A guy named Matt Petruska is playing bass. Stephanie Salva is doing some of the
Oh,
vocals.
okay.
Uh, gosh, damn it, I can't.
Okay. Well, we can look it up. It's all
Yeah,
good. They have the
but
internet
it's
tells us.
August 2nd, I believe, in Sebastopol. I've got a bunch of, like I say, they're all local. They're all kind of Marin County, Bay Area.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of Mark Karen's Buds dates coming up.
Yeah.
Uh, I will say I've been threatening. This is it's embarrassing to admit, actually. I started a record back in 2015. I had a record deal for about 5 minutes, and then
Okay.
I got dropped, but they let me keep the tracks, and I didn't owe anybody any money, so that was great.
Right.
Uh, but it's taken me this long, and I finally have this record pretty much finished,
Oh, wow.
and I'm getting ready to, I'm in the process of doing the artwork and design.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah. So
That's
that's a big focus right now.
good on you.
Yeah.
And so, where will you release it, and how can we hear it?
Well, I'll release it anywhere and everywhere. I'm gonna do the thing, the distro kid thing. And so it'll be up on, Apple and CD Baby and all of
Right.
the usual
Yep.
sources. I'm gonna do a limited run of CDs, even though I know hardly anybody does CDs because it's good to have something at the gigs. And I'll do a limited run of vinyl
Nice.
just because vinyl's cool and fun.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
It's true.
and then it'll be available as digital downloads and all that stuff at all
Yeah,
the
I love
usual
that.
outlets.
Do you do like Bandcamp? Bandcamp is really good to artists because,
I need to. I haven't had anything worth putting up on
well,
Bandcamp,
now
but
you
now that I'm
will.
about to, yeah.
So you start that generally because I've released some of my own music as well, and I start on Bandcamp because they give you 80% of the proceeds in the beginning, and or always, I should say. But when you release anything or people buy it on Bandcamp Friday, it's like every few times a year they have, and artists get 100% of the proceeds that day. And
Nice.
it's nice, and people pay what they want. So you don't get 17 cents on a $2 purchase, or 7 cents like you would on any kind of streaming. You get actually, whatever they pay. So
That's very cool. I have to say I put this
check it out.
caveat out, and I've said it before, and I don't want to paint the wrong picture, but I'm kind of an old fart.
I get
And so I'm still thinking about physical copies of
I
things.
get it.
I want to look at the album cover. I want to roll joints on the album
I
cover.
know what you
I want
mean.
to read liner notes and
I
see who played
totally
on
want
what.
it. I love it. I keep saying I want to make my own. You can actually go to there's some, I forget what it's called, and I'm sorry, but it's a website where you can make an album from whatever it is that you all the music that you upload with your own art.
Mm.
So I'm like, I'm just going to do that for the heck of it. But I
Oh
have
yeah.
a box of leftover CDs for the same purpose. It's good to have something like in your hand, and like I still have CD players and whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
look, I got albums behind me too. Like
I saw that.
that's
I love seeing that.
I do have I'm trying to bring it back. I got to get some Grateful Dead albums. I have some, but I mean I have so many CDs. It's just crazy, but I think the vinyl is really calling, and so
Well,
I
you may already know this. So if I'm telling you something you already know, just shut me up. But
okay.
just in case you don't,
Yeah.
if you can find good condition original copies,
Yeah. Of
they're going to sound better because the
records.
new vinyl
Yes.
has been remastered. And
Yeah.
and guess how they remaster it?
How?
Digitally.
Oh, that's what do you mean? That's
It
defeating the whole
defeats the
purpose of
purpose. And
yeah.
then they put it back on the vinyl analog, but the
Oh,
mastering is done in the digital domain.
that's not
So
analog.
if you really want to be a stickler for I want to hear analog,
Yeah.
you got to get an old record that's in good shape.
Yeah. Well, there's a guy that sells in the Woodstock area, and every time there's a holiday weekend, he's got signs up on the road. It's just like you'll see like pleased to meet you, and then like a little bit later says, won't you guess my name? And
Uh-huh,
then
nice,
it's like
nice.
record sale, or whatever. You're like, first I was afraid, and then I was petrified. That whatever it is, that the line that it doesn't matter what it is, and it makes me laugh every single time.
Nice.
But he's got an enormous collection, and I should start asking him for Grateful Dead stuff, because you're right. The originals are where it's the original mastered. It's the original quality. But that's a lost. It's not maybe lost totally, but it's not as easy as the streaming thing that everybody's doing. It is a
It's
little bit.
almost impossible to do 100% end-to-end analog release anymore. You
Yeah,
know,
I I would say it's just not like people, like even me with the records or whatever. I mean, with the CDs, it's like numerous folks go, I don't have a CD player anymore. I just go, hey, whatever, play this, and then you're hearing it on your Spotify, on your whatever. I know, I'm
as
guilty.
long as they're not only listening on these.
Oh my God, no. Yeah, that drives me a little insane, because that's not made for that. It's not going to
Right.
be the quality that you
You
really.
go to the trouble to make
Where's
this
the
amazing
bass?
sounding
Right,
thing, this immersive experience,
yeah,
and then you're going to listen to it through like
on
a quarter of an inch
that.
speaker.
That's so funny. Oh well, Mark, it's so nice to talk with you today. So what are you doing tonight?
I am going to go see Odyssey
Oh wow, where's that?
in my local movie theater.
That's the movie you're going to see,
Yeah,
Odyssey.
yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So where are you in? Where are you?
Fairfax, Marin County.
Marin County. Yeah. So you said Sebastopol before. Do you know Roni Stanley?
I do.
Yeah, she's my dear friend from
Right on.
20 plus years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And yeah, she was my friend's son's orthodontist.
Oh,
And
what a trip.
she
Okay.
was this cool woman who had all these Grateful Dead posters in her studio. So I went to her, where her dental studio was, and so I went, tagged along once so I could meet her, and my life has never been the same. I'm just so floored by this woman. And then she moved from where she was living to Saugerties, and then I was in Woodstock, so we're like next to each other, and we were at the same events, and what a spirited woman. I would have to say I love her. She's introduced me to so many folks, but the fact is, I know she's out there. She's always like, Denise, you got to come out here and hang out here. So maybe we'll have to plan a visit to the Mark Karen's Buds.
That would be lovely.
I know what the feelings are like in California. It's really nice where you live. I was out there when we were out recently with Brown Eyed Women. I guess it was last year, but Caroline and I were on the road. Caroline's our keyboardist singing, our singing keyboardist, and she says, "Oh, I know why everybody out here is so happy. It's like gorgeous out here all the time." And I'm
My
like,
ex-wife, her family ridiculed us because she was kind of back and forth between New Hampshire and Hawaii.
mm,
Thankfully, she got Hawaii as part of the deal. Uh, but her New Hampshire family used to brutally ridicule us for paying the kind of money we pay to live in California.
yeah,
And she would just say, "Hey, it's the happy tax."
it's the happy tax. I like that. It's really nice out there. So I hope I get to come and meet you out there in your hood. And thank you so much for taking the time. I really means a lot to talk to folks, especially, I met you and we had nice musical connections. And then, I don't really get to see you too many times. So it was like nice to learn a little bit more about you here today. And
Yeah, yeah.
ideally, our friends who watch will also learn a lot about you. And then
Right on.
we'll be spreading the love of Mark Karen, right?
Well, and hopefully when we come back east again, we'll be able to connect.
That would be nice, Mark. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna disconnect this. So we say goodbye here, and then we'll say goodbye again. All right,
Bye all.
bye everybody.